Now, no one's probably told you this, but your trading success can largely come down to what you're trading. And in particular, make sure you're trading the right currency pairs for the right time zone. It's extremely important. Now, let me explain a few things about this, and it will really open your eyes up to how professionals follow the market as the time zones change through the course of the day. So, which currency pairs should you trade during each trading session? Now, I know a lot of traders are sitting at home wondering what should they be trading. Maybe the yen, it's been in the news, the Aussie, or the Canadian dollar. A lot of traders actually just go and trade the last pair that they made money on without any other consideration. What you should really be thinking about is what time zone is open, because that's where the trading activity will be. Now, let's just have a look at the cross section of total FX volumes. Now, the North American session, in particular the US, gets a large amount of airtime on the news, and you would expect that to be the largest trading market, but it's not. It's the European session with the overlap of the North American session that is the largest trading session. So just be aware where trading volume is, because that will largely determine the amount of liquidity in the market, and that's very important for you executing orders. And in particular, you can focus on time zone changeovers. Overlapping trading hours contain the highest volume of traders. Now, there's 4 key sessions: the New York session, the London session, the Tokyo session, and the Sydney session. Now, let me just run you through each of these sessions. The Sydney session, largely relating to the Aussie and Kiwi dollar and crosses associated with those pairs. The Tokyo session, well, of course, the Japanese yen and the Aussie and Kiwi. The yen crosses will definitely be prevalent during this session. Then we have the London session. Euro, sterling, and Swiss are the major focus for currency traders, and crosses related to those pairs. Last but not least, the New York session, with the Canadian dollar and the US dollar the primary focus. In this session, all majors are active. Now, on the changeovers of each session, there's increased trading activity, and you have to be aware of this. On the open and the close, you'll see traders opening positions and then closing out at the end of the trading day. Now, at the open, this is the time when most economic macro fundamental data releases come out, and that creates a huge amount of trading activity, potential direction, and momentum across the currencies related to that news release. So it's hugely important you do focus on the changeover of the time zones. The Tokyo changeover to the London session, you'll see increased trading activity. Japanese traders will be managing positions on the yen crosses as traders in London start focusing on the economic data releases relating to the euro, sterling, or Swiss. This can see a huge amount of volume going into the market. It's great trading conditions because we've got increased liquidity. We've got economic data releases which are giving the major currency pairs direction, and that's something you should be focusing on and be very aware of every day. The London changeover to the New York session, another important trade zone. Once again, traders in the London session will be managing positions, potentially closing them out as the New York session approaches, as the key macro fundamentals are released at the start of the New York session, and it can generate a huge amount of trading activity. The Canadian dollar, the US dollar, euro, sterling, and Swiss are all extremely active in this period. Now, outside those changeovers, there's the hidden danger zones. These are zones with low levels of liquidity and high levels of volatility. And the markets here are susceptible to weekend news events. And I would generally say they are no-go zones. If you're trading, you turn the screens on at home and you want to have a look around and see if you can make some money. Well, make sure you're not dabbling in these hidden danger zones, because your positions may get knocked out before they have a chance to get going, just with the higher levels of volatility. So this is the key thing. The focus shifts with the time zones. That means you should trade what is active. What time zone is active is very important to what you should be trading. In the Sydney session, the Aussie and Kiwi, the Tokyo session, the yen, Europe, euro, sterling, and Swiss, and the North American session, the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. So the currency pairs that are active, the Asian session, of course, you've got the Aussie, Kiwi, and yen the yen crosses in particular. The European session, you got the Euro, Sterling, and Swiss, and the major European crosses. The North American session, well, there's no point really focusing on the crosses because all the majors are active. Now, let's make it easy to follow the market. And what I'm talking about is grouping instruments together by time zones on your trading platform. Now, this is something you can easily do, and it will allow you to follow the market through the course of the day. Now, I group the Asian majors at the top with the related crosses below. When it comes into the European session, I've got Euro, Sterling, Dollar Swiss just under those Asian pairs, with the European crosses below the Asian crosses. And then last but not least, Dollar CAD kicks in. But this is where the majors come into play. And that's why you have the major currency pairs at the top. Now, this concept may be something that you've overlooked, but this is something you should focus on when you turn the screens on and prepare yourself to start trading. Think about it. What time zone is open? What major currency pairs are in play? What cross-currency pairs are in play? It will allow you to focus on the trading opportunities where there's fresh momentum and direction from the economic data releases at the start of the sessions. It will allow you to manage your positions on the changeover of sessions. And it's very important because these are the focal points for professional traders and, most importantly, the bank traders that control all the volume. I can tell you, when I was working for Citibank for 20 years, the changeovers of the sessions, the release of the economic data, they were the focal points. And as we went through the time zones through the course of the day, our focus shifted to the instruments and the pairs that were active during these time zones. It's a simple concept, but one that will pay big dividends for you. Good luck and happy trading.